Safety. It's a big thing in the workshop. If you don't feel safe doing something, or you just don't feel comfortable, don't do it. You're the only person who can keep you safe. And if you don't do it, no one else can. Hi, we're back. Got the camera set up. I hope we can see everything okay. Now, first thing we're going to make is that little MT2 driver. I have my piece of 4 1/4 inch oak, 4 1/4 inches long, 1 inch square. I got the ends marked for center. Need a drive center, and I like to use this little one-way drive center. And the reason I like to use that is because it's the same as my live center. So when you've had something between centers, like this, you always mark the ends of the wood. Okay. So now, if I want to turn this around, because they're the same size, it's very easy. I can turn it around and it will fit right in to the grooves that were made. So not very important on a little thing like this, but I find it very useful. And I've driven some pretty large bowls and everything with this drive center. Now, it doesn't always drive as hard as other drivers, but if you get a catch or something, then it will stop the wood. So I find it very good, very useful. The two sizes that we're going to make are 3/4 inch and 5/8, and I have 2 wrenches here that I'll use to size those dimensions when we get to them. We need a scale for measuring the length. There we are, 4 1/4, and a skew chisel. Now I have my regular little skew chisel here and an even smaller skew chisel here, just in case I need it. And you'll notice on my skew chisel, this is something I just explained because it might confuse you, I have a flat. Well, I put the flat on first of all so my tool wouldn't roll around when I put it on the bed. It's not going to roll off. But then I found that when I was turning, I really liked having that flat underneath. It gave me a definite point of orientation. So I've ended up putting it on most of my tools. Not that I advocate that you do that, especially not on expensive tools. But if you try it on an old tool, and you find you like it, well, feel free. Okay, so first we'll just make it round first of all. And for that, I guess I could use my roughing gouge and my spindle roughing gouge, and of course always face shield. Okay, we'll round it up. So now remember, we're going to come in 1/4 inch from one end, this end here, and we have 2.5 inches from that mark out, 2.5, and then there should be about 1.5 here. Okay. See if I got those right. 2.5. I'm a little not quite wide enough. There, that's more like it. 2.5. Okay, now we have to turn this one down to, remember our sheet, have to turn this one down to 5/8 and this one down to 3/4, quarter of an inch in. And so to size the 5/8 I have this. This is what I got the little one for, because it's a little space here. Getting close now. There. Until it's just a snug fit. Now. Yes, the corner is nice and square in there, and this is the corner that is going to be our target later. So we want 2.5 inches from there, which is just on the outside of this black line, and here we want 3/4. So I've done the 5/8. I'm going to do the 3/4 down this end now. So we have 3/4 here, and 5/8 here, and between them we have 2.5. Okay. So what we have to do now is blend from that point at the bottom of the shoulder there to this point at the bottom of the shoulder there, and that will give us the right angle for an MT2 taper. Little tricky, so take your time and I'll see what I can do here. There, now I've blended from that corner there to this corner here, 2.5 inches, 5/8, 3/4. We'll see how it fits. Oh, no, it's a bit loose this end. Yeah, you see that little wobble? That means I have to take a little bit more off down the small end here. I'm guessing that'll be somewhere near. Oh yeah, pretty close now. When I put it in, I just snug it. Funnily enough, I've taken a smidgen too much off the back end. So we were very close, as you can see. It was needs just a little off from there on down. Not very much, but we may as well have it right. There. That's snugged up nicely in there now. Give it a little tap. Feels pretty good. Feels very solid. Just tap it in and yes, it's solid. Okay. So you may have to fiddle a little like I did to get it right, but once it's done, it's done. Put the spindle down. There, now we know this is running perfectly true, and each time you put it in you can give it a little scrape before you mount the block for your spindle, and we'll see how that fits. And first, when you first put it in, you use it and you tighten up the tailstock. You may hear a little snap or crack with it bedding in. That's okay. So now, the ball is running true. And if I hold it and tighten it up a little bit, it will, see it burning in? It will seat itself in the hole. And it's centered itself in the hole and it's running nice and true. So at this point we're ready to make the spindle. And I'll be back in a second to do that.